Back in the mid-80s, when I was about 7 years old, Nabisco came out with a candy called Bonkers that everybody went crazy over. Absolutely bonkers. It was a fruity candy that came in a long rectangular package. Each piece had a outside layer that was fruity, and on the inside was an even fruitier center. They had different flavors like watermelon, strawberry, orange, grapes. They even came out with a chocolate flavor. Ooh, it was good. It lasted about 3 or 4 years, and then the advertisement sort of drifted away and Bonkers disappeared from the market. Some people say they weren't making enough money on it, but I know the true reason why Bonkers was discontinued, and I'm going to tell you that right now. When they came out with the advertisements for Bonkers, the TV commercials were hilarious. You would see an older woman come into her living room, sit down in her rocking chair, pop out a piece of Bonkers, watermelon flavor, pop it in her mouth, and as soon as she started eating it, a gigantic piece of watermelon came crashing through her ceiling, landing on top of her, knocking her out of the rocking chair. She laid there sort of gaga as the giant piece of watermelon just kind of laid across her. And she said, "I'm bonkers for Bonkers." And then in the background, you'd see her husband come in and sit down in the recliner and pop in a piece of orange-flavored Bonkers. Directly as soon as he started eating it, a giant orange came crashing through the ceiling and landed on him. Then over to the other side of the living room. The son is sitting on the sofa, pops in a piece of strawberry candy. What do you know? A giant strawberry comes crashing through the ceiling. It was hilarious. What fun, especially to a 7-year-old kid who watched Looney Tunes and funny things like that. When I see someone get bumped by a giant piece of fruit, that's pretty funny. And you know what? I couldn't wait to try it out myself. So one night, my family went to the grocery store. My mom and dad and myself with my brother and sister. We went to the grocery store to pick up our weekly groceries. And when we got to the checkout line, I saw the Bonkers lined up on the shelf. Let me show you the ad. You may even recognize this that appeared on backs of comic books and at the checkout shelves. It says, "Bonkers Fruity Candy hits you with a new flavor." And you see the old lady from the commercial, a portrait of her there with the watermelon laying across her in the different flavors. When I saw this, I said, all right, I gotta have me some Bonkers candy. I can't wait to try it. So I begged my mom and dad, yanking on their sleeves, "Please, please, please." They decided I'd been a good boy, so they gave me a pack of Bonkers. My mom let the cashier ring it up real quick and handed it back to me because I was just bouncing around, couldn't wait to eat it. And I took out the package and started to unwrap it. Well, I've always been a considerate person, and I thought to myself, if I eat this piece of candy inside the store, that giant piece of fruit's going to come crashing through the ceiling to land on me. I don't want to ruin the store ceiling. I'll wait till I get outside. So I waited, and we got outside. We were walking through the parking lot after my parents finished paying for the groceries. They were pushing the buggy along to the car with all the bags, and I was trailing behind thinking I could go ahead right now and pop this piece of candy and eat it. But I really, really want to see what it looks like to see a giant piece of fruit come crashing through a ceiling. You know what? I wonder what it would do to a car. So I decided to wait until we got in the car to eat my piece of Bonkers candy. We got the groceries piled into the trunk, and then we all piled ourselves into the car. Good old Chevy Malibu my parents used to own. I always sat in the back seat in the middle between my brother and sister. We started off into the night, the sun had gone down, and we headed home down the highway. Unsuspecting, my parents were unsuspecting, sitting up front, talking to each other. I unwrapped the package of Bonkers, took out a piece of that watermelon flavor, popped it in my mouth and started chewing. Ooh! And I waited. No sound from above, no crashing. I don't hear anything. Oh, what happened? Where's my giant piece of fruit? You know what? Maybe that was a bad piece. Let me get another piece out. And what ingenuity I used too, because I got the watermelon flavor, and I thought to myself, when I get that big giant piece of watermelon landing on top of me, I can eat it too. Ooh, I love watermelon. I couldn't wait. I unwrapped the candy and I popped it in my mouth, ate another piece. Nothing happened. No fruit crashing through the roof of the car. What is this? I tried another piece, ate it, kept going. Nothing happened. No giant fruit crashing through the ceiling like they did on TV. Oh, I started wailing and crying loudly. My brother and sister jumped. My parents turned around to look at me. What is wrong with you? I said I wanted a giant piece of fruit to fall on my head like on TV. And it didn't happen. Well, my mom let me know, honey, it was just an advertisement. Well, you know what? That's exactly why Bonkers disappeared, because of what? False advertisement. They told me a piece of fruit would come crashing through the ceiling, land on my head. What fun. And you know what? It didn't happen. But I do believe it was because of false advertisement. I mean, how many people around the country out there, probably unsuspecting, bought a piece of Bonkers fruit thinking if I eat it, a piece of giant fruit will fall on me. What fun. And it didn't happen. Shame on the Bonkers Candy people for false advertisement. Well, I just heard recently that they're going to actually put Bonkers back out in the stores after, what, 2 decades? It's coming back. A new company has bought it and is going to release it with even newer flavors like banana and mango and all kinds of flavors. Well, I hope this company, whoever this new company is, will use a different strategy and be honest with their advertising. Because I'm going to tell you, when I buy candy expecting a giant piece of fruit to fall on my head, then a giant piece of fruit on my head is what I better get, because I paid my hard-earned money. Thank you.